Well, you look at when you got into football, I completely agree with you. The first player you were excited about watching, for me, was Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fat Ronaldo,
Free
Ronaldinho,
When
Francesco
free the guys.
Totti, yeah.
Free
Ronaldinho.
Oh yeah, free Ronaldinho.
Free
Yeah,
Ronaldinho,
yeah.
definitely.
Oh, I've got a story about him. Someone was on some website before, and they clicked on a video that they thought was football highlights, and it said Ronaldinho Gaucho, and it was a video of him wanking on webcam.
What?
Innit? How does the image you have of Ronaldinho?
I can't see him.
is
Oh
so
my God.
tainted.
I can't see my king doing that.
No. Kaka wouldn't do that.
No,
I couldn't do that.
no, but Ronaldinho, like, do you remember the Joga Bonito adverts where
Fam, Joga Bonito is what made me love football.
like he
That era.
he
Like,
epitomised? And the thing about Ronaldinho now, people like break football down based on stats. Like you look at the end of the season, you go like, okay, well look at Aubameyang, he's top scorer. You break down stats, you see the top assister. You know, you got the top players who will pull out stats relentlessly. Ronaldinho,
but no one could do on a pitch.
Ronaldinho never ever scored more than 15 goals in a season, which is
No.
crazy. He never scored more than 15
No.
goals in a season. Which you hear that and you think that's.
And if you think about it, wherever he was, he probably wasn't the best player on the team.
However,
Arguably talent-wise,
However,
definitely the best player on the team. But I mean, like when he was at Milan, they still had Maldini.
but like you look at like
they still had Nesta.
Yeah, that's
Do you
what
know
I mean.
They had Messi,
But you
Messi at
watch-
Barca.
you watch-
they had-
you watch
yeah.
Barcelona.
Samuel Eto'o.
You watch Barcelona
Ibrahimovic.
because of Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
And I remember that game, I think it was in 2005, when they beat Real Madrid away and it was 3-0.
And when they gave him a standing ovation.
And Ronaldinho scored twice, and his second goal, he just blitzed past their defence. He made, this was like a young Ramos as well, who was top draw back then.
Yeah, he was
Fernando
They had
Hierro.
Roberto Carlos in that team. And he made them look like kids.
Yeah.
And he just blitzed through them. And he could have scored about 5 or 6 that game.
Yeah.
He scored twice, but he genuinely... That was like...
Mate, to get a standing
In my
ovation.
opinion, it's a big opinion, but I think that is the greatest all-time individual performance in a game in 90 minutes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because
So to make the Madrid fans give a Barcelona fan a standing
But that's what it's
ovation,
gonna come to.
You
Yeah.
have to be... And
With
mate,
the rivalry
think of the
there
games
is.
that they've watched between
Yeah.
Barca and Madrid. They've always been two of the best teams.
Yeah.
So for Madrid fans to stand up and... That must have been the best performance they'd seen over a
Like,
50-year period.
You have
know
to.
what
You
I
have
mean?
to.
We
put
don't
that-
really have a player
You have
like
to put that
now,
into
do we?
perspective. Go back to the Arsenal Tottenham days. There was never a time, as amazing as Henry was, where Spurs fans would ever give him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Ever.
Don't think so.
Like he was dynamite in his day, but no one's ever gonna. Like no Tottenham fans are gonna be jumping up and celebrating for Henry.
True. I think Ronaldinho as well. I think one of the best. I think one of the most notable things about him was the fact that in 2002, we had that fucking. Remember when we lost to Brazil
In the quarterfinals.
in the quarterfinals? The fact that us English fans sat there and watched that, and then for the next 5-6 years, our football in life was dominated by Joga Bonito.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
Absolutely.
it just shows the fucking impact that, not even just Ronaldinho, but that Brazilian flavour that came in around that time was just fucking mental, innit?
But what's crazy as well, like, I don't know if you saw it last night, but on Monday Night Football, they actually had Sven, the former England manager.
Sven
Goran
Goran
Eriksson. Sven. And it was actually really interesting listening to him because, I mean, he's like 72 now, but he was basically talking about breaking down why he couldn't get it to work with the English golden generation. And it was actually really interesting to hear what he was saying.
Wow,
and
what did he say?
Basically what he was saying was he couldn't drop Lampard, Gerrard or Scholes out the team because
that's a tough.
they were all just so top draw. And Scholes got actually moved out to the left, which he didn't complain about. But what he was also saying as well, his biggest regret, he didn't get a mentality coach in for when they had the penalty shootouts. Because if you actually look at his record, we went out in the quarterfinals of the 2002 World Cup to Brazil to that freak goal by Ronaldinho.
What a game, though.
In
Did
the-
you watch that at primary school?
Yeah.
Trust.
Do you know, it's mad. My primary school gave me the option. All of us. The
What, to
option.
go? Or?
Yeah, free ticket. No, the option was you could either go to school and watch it because it was in Japan, so it was on at like 11 o'clock.
South Korea, Japan, yeah, of course it was.
Yeah, so you
That's
could-
my favourite ever football, by the way.
Yeah,
that World Cup.
definitely.
Yeah,
And you could go to school and you could watch the game, or you could stay at home and watch the game.
Yeah.
And I remember that game I opted to stay at home and watch it, and you just knew from. I think we scored first really early.
Michael
but
Owen, wasn't
It
it?
was Michael Owen. It was a really good goal actually, but the rest of the
were-
game.
Mate, I kind of feel like I want to watch back those Sven years because
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, we can't have been like, surely we must have actually been quite fun to watch just with that
Well,
much
we were.
talent
I
on
mean,
the
do you know what?
pitch.
This was interesting. Under Sven, I think he got us to 3 tournaments. We lost 1 qualifier.
Yeah.
We lost 1.
Yeah.
And that's actually, when you actually put that into perspective, like, even now under Southgate, and people do like him, and I get that because he's very likeable, but our team was a lot better back then.
Yeah.
But I just think, as English fans, we probably got a little bit greedy with our expectations. Sven could have got it, obviously, to work a bit better. You know, that team could have easily won a tournament. But at the same time, I feel like we were probably a little bit quick to get rid of him.
It's all
for that
hindsight, isn't it?
generation,
It's
yeah.
all Scholes didn't work there, so Gerrard would have worked better, or Lampard would have worked better there. And it's like, at the time, you don't really get the choice, innit? Like, you've got to put those
I
players
was just
on the
saying,
pitch.
Sven was on Monday Night Football last night, and he was talking about one of the reasons why it didn't work was he regretted that he didn't get a mentality coach in for the penalties to practice. He said they practiced penalties, but they didn't have a mentality coach for.
Was Sven manager when we got knocked out by Portugal?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah,
So we lost the Euro 2004 quarterfinals to Portugal.
Is that when Rooney got injured?
Rooney got injured.
Oh,
he
that
broke
was
his
the wink,
metatarsal.
innit? The wink.
That was 06.
No, that
actually.
was
was 06.
where we watched that at a wedding.
Yeah.
The 06
And we
one.
were
I had a Portugal
I'll be honest,
shirt underneath
the
my shirt, and I forgot that it was like the day, and I'm sitting there like feeling so guilty. Like, I secretly support the team that just beat that.
I'll be honest though, the 06 game we were pretty crap. Like that went to penalties.
Yeah,
but-
that was when we started to drift out of
Yeah.
the golden age.
I mean the 04 tournament.
That's when we started relying on Rooney, wasn't it?
Yeah. Rooney was really good that
Beckham was
tournament.
going off.
Yeah.
Fucking Scholes was leaving.
I think 2002 we should have won it because you look at the Brazil team that won it. We were actually better than that Brazil team.
Oh, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there.
I think
and let me
that-
tell you why. Cafu, Roberto Carlos, Ronaldinho, Robinho in his prime.
Robinho won in that team.
Yeah, he was.
Not in
No,
02.
Not 02.
Was he not?
No.
No.
Oh wait, when was
Robinho-
that Chile game where they went mental?
I think it was about 2006, 7.
That must have been 2006 because
Oh, was it?
that would have been the only time that Robinho would have played with the older lot.
Oh, okay.
Because he got
No,
drafted in.
Well,
And he,
still,
Gilberto
Dida-
Silva, Edu,
Bro,
Arsenal.
Shout out Edu.
That's-
Edu
I'm
was-
sorry,
yeah.
but I got to disagree with you there. That Brazil team was probably, in my eyes, the best international team I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to talk about history before I was born, but I've ever seen in my life. That Brazil team was. That's what
Yeah,
they,
okay,
they
but
made me love football.
If you
Yeah,
break, if
yeah.
you
They
actually,
made me love
but if
football.
you actually broke it down,
I was gonna say,
player
yeah.
for player.
Left back.
So you'd have if you
well,
actually.
who would? So you would say?
So if you
that-
look at the keepers, you had David Seaman, who
Yeah.
was
Versus
class,
Dida.
versus Dida.
No,
who was
it
also
It was Dida.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
Dida.
Dida.
You'd probably pick Dida. Dida won Champions Leagues.
David
Seaman
Seaman
was a
sick.
boy, though.
Like,
He was
Seaman
the
was
boy.
sick. Do you remember that Sheffield United FA Cup
Oh,
game when he
mate.
made that save on the
Backwards.
touchline?
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I've called that
What do
too
you
early?
think?
Oh,
I don't know. It's tricky though because you think Sol Campbell,
I think-
Rio
I
Ferdinand,
think
two
what's
of the
good
best
is-
centre backs in the
Would
world.
you-
We
Would
got three of
right
us.
back.
We got three of us here in it. So let's kind of vote on
Okay.
who to go in
Position
it.
by
So
position?
yeah.
Because
So
you've got to think, if Dida was in the Arsenal Invincible team, would Arsenal have won the Premier League as comfortably as
well, this
they
is the
did?
thing. Dida kind of had these
And Dida
moments
had a
where
mistake
he,
in him, actually, didn't he?
Yeah,
actually
he did.
have
That's
a
what I was going to
mistake in
say.
him.
He's a little bit
Whereas
temperamental sometimes.
Seaman's only real criticism was that he got lobbed, and that happened a few times.
Yeah.
And that you never saw him make a really obvious mistake. But
Alright, so who's voting Dida?
I'm going to stick it out and go Dida because of the Champions League.
I'm Arsenal, so I got to go with my boy.
I'm
I
going
gotta-
Dida. Just,
You're going Dida.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
Dida's
because
in
we
the team.
beat Dida in the
That's a
Champions
2 for
League
1.
final.
Dida's in the team. So
Alright.
left back, who's Ashley Cole versus Roberto Carlos?
See, that's hard because Ashley Cole was considered the best left back in the world
but
for a long
Roberto
time.
Carlos.
Was actually Cole in the O2?
He
team?
was, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He went in the squad.
Roberto Carlos was the fucking guy, though.
Yeah.
Like,
He
come on.
is the reason that we have Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander.
Yeah,
Arnold
no,
right
he
now
is,
at Liverpool.
and he's inspired a lot of fullbacks because he actually was the first fullback really in modern football to
take it upon himself
take set
get
pieces,
involved. Yeah,
to
yeah,
have
yeah.
that flair. Like he would get for Madrid, he'd get like 10 goals a season.
Yeah.
You know,
that
just
byline goal.
yeah.
Better than the
Would you-
Maicon
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god, like his technique was incredible, and like even the top footballers, like I think Ronaldinho said that the best technique he's ever seen from someone, and bear in mind Ronaldinho was with Messi as well,
Yeah.
was actually Roberto Carlos. But then it's so hard because Ashley Cole, for years,
Defensively was off.
and Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, still says to this day the best player, the best defender he's ever played against was Ashley Cole.
Oh really?
So you actually look at those two comments and you think, how do you really word that? Ashley
Yeah.
Cole won loads of Premier Leagues with Arsenal, with Chelsea. He's won the most FA Cups ever as a player.
I'd say Carlos because of his stamp on the position.
Yeah.
Ashley Cole's got a stamp on our minds because
Yeah.
we're English
Yeah.
and the whole Cashley Cole saga and all of that, Cheryl Cole and that. But really, Roberto Carlos was like the archetypal modern fullback.
I think more players probably look up to Roberto Carlos more than Ashley.
Yeah.
So we'll go.
Well, I'm voting Roberto Carlos.
I'm going with Cole.
Yeah.
But
We're going with Cole.
I'm
That's
going
2 for
Carlos.
1.
Fuck you guys.
Carlos.
That's a 2 for 1. So we got
Centre backs
Centre-backs
for
was
Brazil was Lucio and Roque Jr.
Lucia and Cafu. No,
Cafu was right
Cafu
back.
was right
right
back.
back.
Was
Sorry.
Roque
Yeah.
Jr. the guy that used to play for Leeds?
It was.
Oh mate,
I'm sure it was.
Do you know
Roque
what? What you
Jr.
want to do? You want to get the lineups.
Yeah, I'm gonna put.
If you get the 2 lineups, then you can really
I'm sure
compare.
it was
Yeah.
Roque
Let's
Jr.
do that actual game, innit? England versus Brazil.
202.
202. Oh, 2030.
There you go, lineups.
It's
Oh, yeah.
2002.
You forget a lot of players who played for Brazil,
Yeah.
though. Like,
Trust.
Yeah.
there's a lot of players that, like, I mean, Kaka wasn't really in the team.
Look at this
that time.
old
No,
school
it was-
BBC website.
'Cause that's so dated. isn't it?
Crazy. Alright, where's the team?
Do you know what I think is crazy? When you actually, I was on Twitter the other day and they put up the team of the 05 Champions League final, the AC Milan team.
Well, it wasn't Dida in
So
goal.
And you look at that and
Was
you...
it Cini?
It was Marcos. Someone called
Marcos.
Marcos.
White guy.
Okay,
I
well,
knew
let's
it-
go.
I can't
I knew
remember.
it was-
But let's
I
just
knew
say
it was-
Dida. 'Cause
Well,
that's the one
if
we
you
know.
go based on their top players at the time, you can stick with that. So they had Roque Jr., you were right, and Lucio. Carlos
Yeah.
missed out.
I remember
Lucio-
Lucio being sick.
Bro, yeah, but not he weren't as good as Ferdinand and Campbell.
Do you know what,
That
Carlo?
was
I
their
remember-
weak spot.
Oh, yeah,
Centre back was
yeah.
their weak spot. I remember that
Alright,
being a
okay,
thing.
so just let's. Okay, so who are you voting?
Oh,
To be honest,
Ferdinand and Campbell. Was it
yeah,
Ferdinand and
Ferdinand
Campbell?
and Campbell, yeah.
They're 100% them two.
Yeah, definitely them two. Yeah,
So
yeah,
right
100.
back.
Sol Campbell
Right back.
was one of the best defenders in the league at the time, and Ferdinand.
Ferdinand again, a bit like Carlos, ball playing centre
Yeah,
back.
and
the
he
first
just
of his
and
kind.
in that
Well,
I
not
think
the first.
I think he
but-
just moved to United, and he was the most expensive defender, wasn't he?
yeah,
for
from
years?
Leeds. Yeah, 30 million.
30 million, and that was a lot of money.
Bro, I
back then.
remember my dad being absolutely gobsmacked at that amount.
Yeah.
Like, where's the fucking
Because
game
it was
going?
like
Now
it was like
look-
4 or 5 million, wasn't it? At the time, people were
Yeah.
buying players for.
Yeah.
And then Zidane, what was Zidane's fee when
Zidane
he
was
moved?
50, wasn't it?
Zidane was
And that was the
47.
That was the
50,
record
yeah.
for time.
Yeah.
So
Who's right back? Was it Neville?
right back was. I mean, well, I was gonna say this because this team, the teams that are out in this game for both England
Yeah,
and
but you
Brazil,
had injuries for
ain't the best teams I'd say of them times.
You have to
So
go for England's-
Should we give it our own squads of them times?
You have to go with the strongest starting lineups.
Yeah. So right back, who would we have for England?
Gary Neville.
Gary Neville, I think
So,
that year, 02
Gaza
was,
versus Cafu.
It's
Cafu.
Cafu.
It's
all
got to
day
be
long,
Cafu,
man.
innit? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got to be Cafu.
I like Gary Neville now, but when I was younger, I used to just...
But you know what, Gary Neville, like, actually, people forget how good a player he actually was.
Yeah.
Like for United, he did a
Him
lot.
and Beckham, that was the good wing.
Yeah.
That was the wing they went down.
And they had a real good understanding.
Yeah.
Like the telepathy
Yeah.
between them two was really good to watch.
Yeah.
The Cafu, there's no competition for that.
So what, are we going for like a... I don't know, what kind of formation are we going now?
4-4-2.
Just go
innit?
4-4-2
4-4-2,
classic.
yeah.
It's
So
free,
left
so
wing-
But number 10s can play up front. or
yeah.
whatever.
You can mix it up.
We'll do the 2002 4-4-2
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
yeah.
thing.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
That's the formation of the time as well.
Yeah. So, what? Who's on the right? Who's on the
Our right side was Beckham.
Yeah, right wing was Beckham, innit? And then
And didn't we
Right
have
wing
didn't we have Trevor Sinclair playing in that tournament as well?
He was
did
in
have
that
Sinclair
tournament.
was
Yeah.
playing still.
Did he play in that game?
So who would?
started,
yeah.
well.
So they would have. Was
Rivaldo.
Cleberson? Where did Cleberson?
Cleberson went to Man United. I thought he was a centre mid though.
Cleberson was a centre mid. So they had their
See,
right.
Cleberson was sick in that tournament, but he's not.
Their right.
He's not
Their
sick.
right wing would have been Ronaldinho. They would have played him on the
probably,
right.
Yeah, probably would have been as well.
It would have been Ronaldinho.
Well, it's Dino versus Beckham then.
Oh, that's a
I'm sorry,
horrible
but-
debate. That-
Ooh.
David, I love you, bro, but I'll go for Ronald. I'll go for
Yeah, that's a
Ronaldinho.
shame because I would have liked to have made a point
Yeah,
of bigging
it's-
Beckham up
it's
in it.
gonna-
I'll put him in my top 5.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be. It's gonna be Ronaldinho.
But
isn't it?
It's gotta be
Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho. He was
Uh,
the guy still.
And then you got the
And
two
then-
centre midders. What is it? Steven
Gilberto
Gerrard
and
and
Edu.
Scholes.
Versus
Yeah,
Gilberto and
yeah.
Edu,
So, well, it's Nicky
Nicky
Butt.
Butt,
Nicky
yes,
Butt.
yes.
Shout out Nicky Butt.
Yeah, he
but-
put a shift in.
well, I mean, there's
know what?
Hargreaves.
Nicky
Well,
Butt.
okay, so there's
Hargreaves.
So,
Hargreaves.
so,
Hargreaves
no wait,
was
so
unreal.
yeah, but we got
Hargreaves.
to differentiate who's going to be the England centre.
What I
mids.
think you should
We've
do.
got
'cause
Scholes,
do you know what I think you
Hargreaves,
should
Lampard,
do? I think you should.
Gerrard.
I think you should say Lampard just didn't make that tournament because he was injured,
Yeah.
if I remember. So I think you should say Gerrard and Lampard, and on the left you've got Scholes or Joe Cole. You can use. I'd probably put probably put Scholes.
Probably
I would
Scholes,
love
yeah.
to put Joe Cole in that team, but yeah.
So if you go based on that, so
Alright,
you've got
so
Lampard and Gerrard in the
So
middle.
Lampard and Gerrard
and then you've got them
versus
against Gilberto and
Kaka.
Kleberson.
Or Kaka.
Or Kaka.
I'm gonna have to go Kaka. We'll have to put Kaka in it because he's the more famous.
So
one.
then you have to move Gilberto out to the. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. No.
because-
No. Keep Gilberto because he's
No, but what I mean
a
is you'll
Prem
have,
legend as
you'll
well.
have to compare him to the left sides because they're all centre mids.
No. I'm saying if we have Gilberto and wait, where did Rivaldo play?
Up
Was he a
front, he was
forward?
like a
He's
10
forward, isn't he?
striker sort of thing, innit?
So Gilberto, it would have to be Gilberto and wait, who was the other one?
Gilberto and Kleberson in the middle in the centre mids.
Wait, who was the other one?
And
Who
then
was
you've-
the Kaka,
and then-
Gilberto and Kaka. No, I think
did Kaka play
think-
back then, though?
Not
For
really.
Brazil.
He
Oh,
Well,
didn't-
he's in the team.
He's
Oh,
in.
is he?
He was
He's on the subs.
No, he was on
He's
the
on the
bench,
bench. Yeah, he's
but
on
in
the
that
bench.
tournament he didn't really.
That's what I'm
play.
saying. No, but I'm saying
I was
let's
gonna
switch
say,
it
I
out.
don't,
So
I don't
it's-
think Kaka was even in Europe then.
No, he was. No,
Well, he might have been making
he might
his
have
stamp
just
in
moved.
Brazil.
He might
innit?
have just
Yeah.
moved to Milan. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
I can't
yeah,
remember
he
the
might
year he
be.
went.
Yeah, he might be still.
But he was at Milan for
Because
a
a
few
lot,
years.
I'd
a lot
I'd
of
say-
players moved after
after
that
that
tournament.
tournament.
I'd say kick out Kleberson.
Yeah,
I'm
because
gonna say
Cleverson's just a
Gilberto and Kaka.
Gilberto
then
and
against
Kaka
Lampard and
versus
Gerrard.
Lampard and Gerrard.
Oh, Lampard and Gerrard.
Over Kaka though.
Yeah.
Kaka was the guy.
Kaka
was
is
the-
genuinely quicker with the ball at his
Yeah,
feet.
I saw that.
But
saw
like,
that.
I don't know. That's so hard to call because Kaka won. What did he win? 2 Champions
He
Leagues.
won everything, bro.
Yeah.
He won everything.
He won-
Madrid and...
The only thing he didn't win
he
was the
won.
Prem.
He didn't win at Madrid. He just won 2 of AC
I was
Milan.
going to say, Madrid actually went through a bad patch when
He
Kaka
was-
joined.
Oh yeah. Well,
flopped.
fucking Mourinho froze him out, didn't he?
Yeah, he flopped at Madrid.
Yeah. So wait. So Kaka and Gilberto versus
Lampard and Gerrard.
Lampard and Gerrard. Oh, I'm all right.
Would you mix and match?
Let's.
I think-
should
oh,
we,
do you know
should
what-
we,
do you know
should we
what? I
put
think-
them all, and everyone gets 2 votes for who
Yeah, I'm Gerrard and Lampard.
I'm gonna go with you as well. I actually am.
is it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'd have to go Kaka and Gerrard still.
So Gerrard and Lampard get in then.
I guess. Are we really leaving Kaka out though?
But mate, you look
No,
at Lampard and
no.
Gerrard. Like they both achieved so much.
were the 2 best
We
centre
love
mids
we
at the
love
time.
Kaka because of his flair, but
Yeah.
Gerrard and Lampard were the 2 best.
Yeah.
And you have to remember, Lampard finished 2nd in the Ballon d'Or. Gerrard carried.
Kaka finished first in the Ballon d'Or.
Okay.
Did Kaka win
He
that
did
year
win a
when
Ballon-
Lampard and Gerrard were 2nd and 3rd?
No, Kaka won in 2007. Kaka was
Just before he moved.
I
It
know
was just when he moved to.
I know Modric.
Yeah.
I know Modric won it recently, but before Modric won it, Kaka was the last person to win it before Messi and Ronaldo.
Yes.
Because Messi and Ronaldo have interchanged
Yeah.
it. But
Are you guys really leaving Kaka out?
if you drop, if
I
you
You
don't want to.
you couldn't
if you-
sacrifice an
innit?
England
the,
centre
the
mid.
problem
like.
is if we leave Kaka out, we then have to
It's
sacrifice
stop.
Lampard or Gerrard,
And
and
that's
then
a
that
big
debate
debate.
starts again,
That's
and
a
then we'll
big
be all
debate.
night.
See, I'd just put Gerrard over Lampard personally. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he governed the game a little bit more. Do you know what I'm saying? I like Lampard. Lampard's a legend, but I think Gerrard. I mean, I don't know. I just want to clarify that you guys are leaving Kaka out of this because you're gonna feel funny.
We've left Beckham out.
Yeah,
That's what I
but,
mean.
yeah, but for Dino.
Yeah, but this is for Gerrard and Lampard.
No, but Dino's better.
I'm
than all of them.
gonna stick by the 2 boys.
Super
Gerrard
Frank and
Lampard.
Stevie, yeah.
All right then. I'm just not happy with the team now, bro.
And then you
I don't want to play this game anymore.
and then you've got
Alright, so-
Scholes and Joe Cole against.
we'll just do Scholes in it. So Scholes against. Wait, who's on the wing then?
It's tough because they're playing different formations. I tell you what you can do. Why don't you put Kaka on the left? Because Kaka could play on the left side.
All right, Scholes versus Kaka then.
Yeah. Kaka.
It's Kaka. You can't leave him out.
I like
completely.
Scholes, but personally, I
Or
think
replace
he's a bit
Cla-
overrated.
Imagine that
Yeah,
midfield
yeah.
of Kaka, Ronaldinho, Gerrard, Lampard.
Yeah.
I'd
People that say Scholes was better than Gerrard and Lampard are just revisionists, innit?
Yeah,
Like,
that's just. Yeah.
Man United might have won more, but no one ever thought Scholes was better. No one ever thought
Scholes
that.
was class.
He
but-
was class.
Yeah, but
He
no
was
one
class.
thought he was better
So
than the
we'll go.
others.
We'll go Kaka then for that.
All right, so we got Kaka, Stevie, Lamps, and Dino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still feeling sad about Beckham, innit?
I
That's
feel
it.
bad, innit? Because he don't get the credit he deserves for the actual player he
For
was.
what he
Yeah.
did. was
No,
amazing.
true.
Bend it like Beckham.
Yeah.
Had a film made about
especially
him,
in
man.
that tournament as
Yeah,
well. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But alright, so
Ooh, is
and
this,
now
is this Owen Rooney versus Rivaldo Ronaldo?
Yep. No.
or
no.
Heskey.
We'll have to go.
Heskey
Well, no,
up
wait,
front,
it's
on
0-2.
his own.
wait,
the rest.
It's 0-2. Rooney wouldn't have been about.
No, he
If we're
wouldn't.
talking them times.
That would have been Owen and Heskey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It would have been Owen and Heskey, but I feel like. Oh, I don't know. That's
Or
tough.
Fowler.
Fowler was
Fowler.
class,
Fowler.
mate.
Fowler.
We call him God on the
He
cop.
didn't. He didn't do it on the international stage though, did he?
No.
I think.
No, he was
do you know
more of a
what?
Liverpool man, wasn't
I'm
he?
gonna be. I'm gonna be objective here. I'm gonna say Owen and Ronaldo. Michael Owen won a Ballon d'Or, for fuck's sake. He's the English.
Again, people forget how good he actually was just because he was English.
Just because he was shit at Sunderland
by the time
he was...
do you know what? I
career.
think by the time Michael Owen was 24, he'd scored over 200 goals in his career.
Yeah,
which is
and that was rare
insane.
back then. Like now, 18-year-olds do start, but
no,
then,
even
it was him, Cliver, and Ronaldo.
Even his stats now, I think.
Patrick Cliver.
The only player who I think will maybe eclipse Owen now is probably Haaland for what he's actually doing.
Mate,
at that
Haaland
age.
is a fucking force. Like, oh my lord,
his runs.
He was made in the lab.
So fucking how he stays on side and just like he's such a smart striker.
Did you see that fucking bullet he scored the other week
against PSG?
Yeah.
Was it PSG
in Champions League?
Do you know what the thing is as well?
The one that was like
you know that Rayner that plays the young one that set him up,
the American guy,
17, 18-year-old. Yeah, he just come on as well. Both their parents played for City together, and now they play for Dortmund together.
Really?
Claudio Rayner. Do you remember Claudio Rayner?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you remember that when City had the takeover and they had
Paulo Wanchope?
No, after
Paul
that.
Dickov.
When mate, legends. But when City first had the takeover and they signed all them players who they thought were going to be good.
Roque Santa Cruz.
It just weren't.
Yeah.
Santa Cruz,
Benjani.
Oh, mate, Benjani celebration